The men's basketball NCAA National Championship increased its viewership over last year's final game, but fell short of the women's championship for the first time ever, after failing to draw in the record-breaking viewership the women's matchup saw on Sunday. The women's championship game between the University of South Carolina and Iowa was the most watched basketball game of any kind since 2019, including men's and women's games at the pro and college level, and the most watched spring sporting event in the last 5 years with the exception of football and the Olympics. 364,000. That's how many people tuned in to watch the men's basketball final in 1997 when the University of Arizona beat Kentucky, setting the record for the most watched men's final dating back to 1995, according to Nielsen. Viewership wasn't the only thing the women's championship topped the men in. Ticket prices for the women's semifinals and championship games in Cleveland were reported to be higher than those for the men heading into the Final Four. Ticket prices for the men's Final Four in Glendale, Arizona, were the highest they'd been since ticket sales company TicketiQ began tracking in 2011, but were still about $300 less on average than the women's. Women's college basketball had a season unlike any of its past this year, in large part due to stars like Iowa's Caitlin Clark and LSU's Angel Reese, who drew thousands more eyeballs and fans to their games. In its last 3 games of the tournament, Iowa broke the viewership record for women's college basketball 3 times, with millions more people watching with each game. Heading into the Final Four, ESPN announced this year's Women's Sweet 16 was the most watched on record, up 96% from last year. Celebrities including Jason Sudeikas, Hootie and the Blowfish's Darius Rucker, Rapinoe and Kylie Kelce made appearances at some of the women's Final Four and championship games, with Sudeikas often sporting a shirt that read, "Everyone watches women's sports." Earlier in the season, the success went beyond television viewership as Clark, who has been called the best the game has seen, and Iowa sold out at least 11 road games this season and sold out nearly all of its home games in Iowa City. How much viewership for the women's tournament improved overall? ESPN, which aired the women's tournament, said it will release a complete look at the viewership records set during the women's championship and March Madness on Wednesday.